Hi, Sophie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I love you in Peaky Blinders. You have so many different characters that you've played over the years. Is this rewarding for you as an actress, being able to go in and just play with these roles?
Yeah, it's really fun when you get to be someone very different to who you've been before or been recently. You always want to kind of mix it up a little bit. So it was really good fun to play someone like Jo, who's kind of gutsy and bold, but she's also modern. It was lovely to do something without the constraints of the period drama, but still with some of that kind of that those guts that she's got. Yeah, it was really lovely, and her character, the character of Jo, is one of the crucial elements that made me want to do it. I thought she was a really interesting protagonist, and not always in the right, which I really enjoyed. Not always the hero of this, although she's very heroic, she makes very questionable decisions. So it was really nice to play someone like that, someone with a lot of strength but a lot of fallibility as well.
That's the thing, she's human and we do make
Mm.
mistakes, but she owns those mistakes.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's why she's likable. Because she sort of her heart's in the right place, her intentions are good. She's just trying to figure this thing out, and she kind of becomes blinded and blinkered by this need. But you understand that, you understand why she feels that way because she's pregnant and there's this impending thing coming towards her of motherhood, and she just wants to prove herself before that arrives. Time is running out, and she's doing it for the right reasons, and then she stops and looks back and thinks, oh, what have I done? But I think you're right. I think she owns it, and that's why you kind of ultimately root for her.
You mentioned, she's pregnant. Is that her driving force in this case that she's in? Because she's so determined and she's in there. So is that her driving force, or is there something else behind her?
I think it's an element of it. I think part of it is that she just really does have those whip smart instincts to be a great detective. She's going to be a really good detective. She puts pieces together that other people aren't seeing, perhaps. But I do think it certainly is a motivator. I think that were she not pregnant, she might not feel the need to kind of to go as far as she does as quickly as she does. But I think it's that, it runs concurrently alongside the threat of another flood coming, and I think that's a very good kind of comparison between the two. There is something coming towards her, and hopefully the audience feel that kind of tension, so she just jumps, and you'd kind of always rather follow a protagonist that's ready to just kind of jump than someone that is back-footed. So yeah.
So with the flood, the scenery is so realistic going into it. What was it like filming those flood scenes?
It was really good fun. It was so fascinating, to see them put it together. Because when I first spoke to them, to the team behind it, there was a lot of, we haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that, but we'll figure it out on the day. But they put it together so beautifully. And when we shot the opening sequence, we got to go to this incredible water course up in the northeast where they do a lot of training for emergency services, and they also do a lot of filming, and we met some amazing people that worked there. So it was like a sort of school field trip. It was really good fun. The TV sets often follow a very familiar rhythm, and when you're doing big stunt sequences like that or huge set pieces, it kind of takes on this different energy, and that's really exciting. And then in the other sequences, they built these incredible sets, and they built this huge water tank, and they built the facades of the building, and then they flooded it. They really did just fill it with water and kind of just chuck us in and say good luck, don't fall over. So it was really good fun, and really good fun for me, who often doesn't get to do that stuff. I'm often the person left behind at the kitchen sink watching the hero go off. It was really good fun to be the one in the water saving the baby.
So just as my last question, you get to play opposite your real life partner as your partner. What was it like doing that? And did you manage to leave everything at work and not bring it home with you?
It was great because me and Matt have known each other since before we were a couple and worked together since before we were a couple. So I think that helps. It's more familiar for us in a work environment to not be couple. So we really do just leave it at home. I think there was one time he would maybe disagree, where apparently we'd filmed this big argument scene and we came home and apparently I was being really stroppy. And he said, we didn't have a row today. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think I am maybe a little bit annoyed at you still. But apart from that one time, we're very much of the similar. We're very similar. We just, that's Joe and Pat. Thank God that's nothing to do with us. So it was just nice.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait for everyone to see After the Flood. It's so good. There we are.